Hey there, bud. So I have a confession to make. I am a dragon-loving piece of trash, okay? I'm sorry. I can't help it. As soon as you toss a dragon into a story, I get so pumped. I don't care if you show him as a simple dangerous beast, a greedy fire-breathing lizard, a lucky long boy who loves adventure. As soon as I see a dragon, I'm sold. I could be watching a Scorsese-style mob movie, and if, out of nowhere, for no reason, Joe Pesci turned into a dragon, I'd be like, oh yeah. Am I funny? Funny how? Do I amuse you? And then he sets Ray Liotta on fire, the movie ends 10 out of 10. What I'm trying to say is I accept I'm part of the problem. But even I recognize it's boring to see the same stuff over and over again. And I'm so sick and tired of something becoming popular, everyone tossing it into their story, and then repeating the process until it's an uninspired carcass of what it used to be. And I get it. Selling books, games, movies, it's hard, and so putting in what's popular sells. And I get that creating something completely original is tough nowadays. And don't get me wrong, there are writers who just love the classics and who've always wanted to use them, which is great. But there's nothing that quite gets me going more than when I stumble across a creature that's just totally different and distinct and used in such a clever way. And when there's so much interesting folklore to pull inspiration from and more people becoming absorbed into nerd culture, the excuses for not taking chances on different cryptids and mythological beasts become weaker and weaker. So here's just a few creatures I found with a little bit of searching to help get your creative juices flowing, while also including what they can add to your story and the literary itch they scratch. So let's start off with an absolute horror. The Manananggal is a creature from Filipino folklore, and if you're looking to scratch that eldritch itch, oh, do I got you. This demon has a long, thin tongue, bat-like wings, claws, and a ghoulish appearance. And the word Manananggal translates to remover or separator, because in order to fly, the Manananggal needs to leave its lower half behind, meaning it soars through the air with its intestines and other organs just dangling from its torso. Yeah, that's terrifying. During the day, they appear as a normal, everyday woman, but at night, they transform and sneak into towns. They use their incredibly long tongues to open windows and unlock doors so they can prey on sleeping people and suck out their blood, mucus, organs, and their favorite prey, fetuses. Because it's always fetuses for some reason. You can sprinkle vinegar and various spices on a Manananggal's lower half to stop it from reforming, and you would kill it like you would kill a vampire. You can expose it to the sun before it reattaches, or just drive a big stick in its heart. Now, there's more to the creature, of course, but this alone provides so much a writer can use to create an awesome story. There's the obvious murder mystery aspect to a creature hiding in plain sight, with an intelligent woman manipulating the townsfolk to use as a feeding ground. But there's so many other ways to show how such a creature would affect your world. Your characters could stumble across a village and come across pregnant women who smell like salt and vinegar to try and dissuade a Manananggal attack, adding flavor to your story. You could also show how skilled your monster hunter character is by having him not foolishly attack the Manananggal directly, but dashing into the woods, searching for where it hid its lower half. It's sentient, it's scary, it's got built-in strategy, and it's perfect for tossing into your darker themed stories. Alright, up next we have Asini Kiwaka. They're now extinct creatures from Abenaki mythology, originating from northeastern Canada and the US. Essentially, they're massive giants made of stone. They got crystals for eyes, different minerals sprinkled around their body, and all that goodness. They're not the most unique design-wise, but their creation and extinction could easily add so much life to a fantasy world. Basically, one day a powerful god decided to create a race of colossal stone giants, and boom, we got the Asini Kiwaka. These creatures were loving and kind, but were massive and clumsy. They would stomp down trees, trample whole forests, flood riverbeds, and were quite a nuisance to the world around them. But the last straw was when a stone giant tried playing with a herd of deer, and because it couldn't restrain its strength, it accidentally killed the entire herd. So basically, it's a race of massive, rocky Lennys. After their creator saw the massacre, it decided that for the good of nature, their entire race needed to go, and their corpses are what make up the Earth's crust, the mountains, and the rocks we see today. So I love these guys for a number of reasons. The gentle giant trope is always great, and having your characters trying to stand up for one after it plays too rough or decide whether or not it needs to die for the greater good would be so fulfilling to experience. Also, having extinct creatures that shape your world is always so cool to see, and having a world built from the corpses of dead creatures adds so much world building. You could have different gemstones named after stone giant body parts, like emeralds being referred to as Aseniais or whatever, and you don't have to stick to just the mountains. Maybe the tears of cloud giants make up your oceans, shed after their brothers the Aseni Kiwaka were put to rest. Or maybe when you make fire, your characters are actually summoning the spirits of dead fire giants. Also, maybe a god in your world already destroyed all the other stone giants, and your group come across the last surviving one, creating a ton of potential conflict. Or maybe your group needs to resurrect one, so they go hunting for different minerals that make up a dead stone giant's body. Whatever it is, there's a lot to play with, but in particular, these guys are world-building powerhouses. The next creature we're going to look at fit a niche I was specifically looking for, the mischievous monster. And there are quite a few across folklore, but I decided to go with the puka from Celtic mythology, typically taking on the appearance of an animal, whether it's a rabbit, horse, dog, goat, or even sometimes human. They always appear with either black or white fur and with a disheveled, untamed appearance. Some folks say they can shapeshift into humans or other figures, but they always maintain at least a small aspect of their true animal form. Puka are closely linked to the harvest in many stories, either by granting boons or banes to local farmers, but they are famous for their mischief. What I like about puka specifically is they really are just absolute shitheads for the sake of being shitheads. The most popular story I could find is one where a guy was wandering at night, alone and tired, and a puka transformed into a horse and offered him a ride. The puka then proceeded to just dash around the countryside, going through forests, jumping over rivers, and whipping around nonsensically for miles until returning the man to where he picked him up in the first place and just leaving, purely just to fuck with him. It's great. I love it. Apart from affecting your crops and shapeshifting, there are some tales of puka being able to grant wishes and people receiving wishes in exchange for besting a puka. For example, there's a tale of a puka who disguised himself as a blacksmith's horse so he could get horseshoes for free. However, when the blacksmith caught on to this, he put the horseshoes on backward so the puka couldn't walk properly, and he only offered to fix them in exchange for a wish. Some people say puka can also see the future and use this to warn people of upcoming disasters. Because as much as a mischievous little shit a puka can be, they are known to show a soft side to humans now and then, helping out with farm work or leading children back home safely. In fact, so long as you pay the puka for its services, it seems many folk can avoid its torment. That's why there was a tradition to leave a little of your crops unharvested, as a way to pay the puka for good fortune. Essentially, puka are used as a warning to respect animals and people, whoever they may be, for you never know who may secretly be a puka. Puka scratch an itch that I don't see scratched enough in modern fantasy, and that is the powerful magical creature who just does whatever they want. Their motives are unknown and love the chaos of it all, but they can be bargained with and bested. So not only can they add fun and levity to your stories, but they can also provide your heroes an opportunity to flex their wit and make either an unlikely friend or foe. Alright, time to dip into Scottish folklore, and look, I grew up in the early days of the internet, which means as a young lad, I saw videos that make a certain video involving a couple of women and a particular drinking receptacle look tame. And yet, the Knuckleavy might be the most horrible thing I've ever seen. I mean, Christ, look at this thing. It's a skinned centaur with red eyes, arms so long that they drag on the ground, and a big wobbly head. No wonder the Scottish get hammered and eat sheep's liver. They're probably trying anything to get the image of this fucking horror out of their heads. It's a grotesque abomination that crawls out of the depths of the salty ocean and can bring about pestilence, drought, natural disasters, the death of crops and livestock, and a multitude of different ways to make you suffer. The Nuckelavee is said to be a practically immortal and utterly malevolent creature you cannot fight or bargain with. However, you can temporarily avoid it or send it away by either burning seaweed or using fresh water to splash it or separate yourself from it. So I adore the world-building aspects a creature like this brings, from having characters needing to continuously replenish their seaweed or camp near rivers just in case. But what this creature really adds to a story is a type of creature that is underused in today's stories, and that is the unstoppable one. Now, you do see a lot of super overpowered characters, but not a whole lot of creatures your characters simply cannot defeat. A creature you can't ignore, but can never face. Yeah, maybe your story could be about the heroes who find the secret to defeating the Nuckelavee, but I think it works much better as a terrifying force of nature your characters have to work around in order to achieve their objectives. Alright, last up, we got this. Yeah. So it's called a Baku. It's from Chinese and Japanese folklore, and just so you know what's going on here, a Baku has the body of a bear, the trunk of an elephant, the eyes of a rhino, the tail of an ox, and the paws of a tiger. Now, small tangent time, so bear with me because there's a lot to unpack here, but I'm going to focus on eyes of a rhino. What does that mean? Fun fact, rhinos have horrible vision, apparently 1/10 as bad as humans. As far as I can tell, rhino eyes have no real cultural significance in either Chinese or Japanese mythology and are absolutely not native to Japan. Although there is archaeological evidence that they did exist in ancient China, so, you know, cool fun fact. But yeah, apparently the Baku was created using leftover animal parts the gods no longer had use for. But that also raises the question, were rhinos supposed to have 4 crappy eyes? Were elephants supposed to have 2 trunks? Did the Chinese rob us of 2 trunk elephants? I don't know. Anyways, Baku eat nightmares. That's what's important. There are quite a few tales of people, especially children, wishing for a Baku to come and eat their terrible nightmares so they can rest easy and live happily. So the Baku wasn't viewed in a negative light. However, the problem came when you relied too heavily on a Baku. For if you called upon it too much, it would become difficult to keep satisfying its hunger, and it will start feasting on your dreams, hopes, and desires. Now, apart from the Baku being such a weird mashup of creatures, and me personally loving anything to do with dreams, what the Baku represents for the purpose of this video is a creature that has very clear and strong thematic ties. Running from your problems and asking for help to be rid of your nightmares is fine to do now and then, but if you rely on it too much, you will lose yourself. I love when monsters have such powerful messaging attached to their identity and that shape a story and its characters, and that should always be a consideration when coming up with your own creations. There are tons of creatures I didn't have a chance to go over, from the Jiangshi to the Fossagrim, but the point is, if you're having trouble coming up with fresh ideas, there are tens of thousands of creatures scattered across the internet for you to find. Simply Google and type in a country or culture and add mythology or folklore and just go on a journey, because I promise you, there is something new and exciting waiting to be borrowed, adapted, twisted, and evolved into something you never thought possible. And it's all only a click away. That's it. See you later, bud.